Topping our newscast this hour, California's gravy train has hit a downhill grade. Top Newsom administration officials say the state could be in for a $25 billion budget deficit in the next fiscal year. 17's Capitol Correspondent Eytan Wallace shares what state budget watchdogs are saying about the state's fiscal footing and how Republicans are responding.
Well, members of the Newsom administration and the governor himself say they were not caught off guard by the projected deficit, arguing for now at least the state is well situated. $25 billion. The California Nonpartisan Legislative Analyst's Office says for the time being, that is the projected deficit for the state budget in the next fiscal year. It's a situation the state has seen before, sometimes leading to cuts. But unlike those instances, the Newsom administration argues this time is different.
We're better prepared than we've been in the last several decades.
That, according to Department of Finance Deputy Director H.D. Palmer, is because even with last year's record $97 billion surplus, the Newsom administration long anticipated the fiscal outlook could change with the state's boom or bust tax structure. Specifically, as the stock market loses ground, interest rates increase, and inflation stays high, California's top earners will likely rake in less money. The Department of Finance says those top earners, who usually make at least $500,000 per year, provide nearly half the income tax revenue for the state. Less money for those earners means less tax revenue for California, something Newsom warned about at his budget presentation earlier this year.
I think it's important to highlight, and as I was noting, as it relates to the issue of volatility, we've been very mindful of that.
The governor warned back in May that we're in a good situation, but there's some flashing lights up ahead that said we need to be smart with the surplus.
A surplus, he says, heavily focused on one-time spending and inflation reduction, adding California has saved up some $37 billion in reserves.
We've done those smart things. We've built up our reserves. We've paid down debt. We focused on one-time spending.
Sacramento could always be more efficient.
Republican Senator Brian Jones says while he gives credit to Newsom for vetoing some spending bills the governor argued would overcommit the state, Jones wants Newsom to double down on fiscal prudence for other projects.
Do we keep spending billions and billions of dollars a year on the high-speed rail? Do we keep investing taxpayer money into electric vehicles? The legislature is going to have to take a serious look this year through the budgeting subcommittees on what we can cut without damaging Californians' lifestyle for the next year. And there's lots of things we can do.
And the governor is expected to give us a rough draft look at next year's budget in January and an updated look in May. Reporting outside the state capitol, Eytan Wallace, 17 News.